Hey everybody, it's Cyborg here, and I just wanted to briefly touch upon the source crystals system, the microtransaction system being implemented in Injustice 2. So, overall, my thoughts on this are it's pretty harmless. I mean, it's not affecting the gameplay, and it's not a pay-to-win system as they wanted to make clear right off the bat, with good reason, because that is a big concern amongst the community is are they going to offer, are they going to implement the system that basically makes it so people can purchase gear with certain stats and then they have to go up against them online? Somebody drops $50 to get the best stuff. How does that make it fair? And how's that balance? So on and so forth. Well, thankfully that is not the case. Most people, gave them the benefit of the doubt, myself included, thinking that they wouldn't do something like that. It would probably just be based around cosmetic only type of approach, which is what we got here, and that's perfectly fine. I think in this system is it can be done well, and I think they are going to make a good degree of money from it, and that is fantastic for them as a company, and obviously that's good for us because as the company makes more money, the game makes more money, that means they are more likely to potentially make more DLC for us and support the game longer, as well as have a bigger budget for the next game in the series. So that is fantastic. That's where it comes back to help us. My one kind of caveat to all of this is, even though it's cosmetic only, I don't know, it just seems like the way Overwatch and Halo 5 did it is they actually offered all their DLC for free. And they use the microtransactions as their main source of making money after the game is launched. So rather than make people pay for new characters in Overwatch or new maps in Halo, instead they just offer the microtransactions on the cosmetic type of stuff, and they made actually millions on those microtransactions, both companies. If you search it, they actually made millions upon millions based on those microtransactions. So in some cases, they probably made even more on the microtransactions than had they just charged people for the DLC and not had the microtransactions. So it actually is a system that works and benefits the company more so than the DLC itself. Whether that is the case here, not really sure, but I guess my caveat that I'm alluding to here and getting to is that I feel like with them charging the $40 for the DLC and whatever the premium or the season pass might be if you don't get the Ultimate Edition, we don't know what those characters might cost, probably $5 a piece I'd imagine, and then you can get them in a bundle for a season pass at a later date, I would imagine. I guess I would imagine a lot of things, wouldn't I? But in this case, yeah. So we're having to pay for the DLC, and then they have the microtransactions on top of that. It just seems, I don't know, like they could potentially make some of the DLC free or at a discounted price, hopefully. Maybe the characters don't cost quite as much, but then again, we already know how much the characters cost because the Ultimate Edition is already priced. Whereas we don't know how much the microtransactions are quite yet. They have not released that information for whatever reason. We don't know how many source crystals it takes to unlock each individual piece. Do some pieces take more source crystals, as I'd imagine? Or do they come in crates and you're not even guaranteed to unlock the item that you want? It's just you're taking a gamble by spending your source crystals, which is how Overwatch and Halo does it. You actually pay money, not for a specific item that you want, but you're paying money to unlock boxes and hope to get the specific item that you want. That's the downside of it. It's kind of like a gamble. It's like a slot machine, so to speak, and that is the addiction factor of it, is you keep pumping money into it, hoping to get the item that you want. So, with that said, yeah, there can be some negatives that come out of this. We're not really sure. I don't want to jump the gun. I may be analyzing this or analyzing that. Robert De Niro, Billy Crystal, not really sure. But yeah, this is just kind of my initial impression on it and how, some concerns on it, so to speak. But overall, I'm okay with it. I'm 95% positive on it, and I think it's a good system. Doesn't really affect me. I will probably just play the game and unlock things as usual, and I can wait to get the things that I want because I plan to play the game for a long time, and I like the base models themselves and a lot of the stuff. I don't feel like I need one specific item just, to make me happy. I am fine with the way things look at their base, so to speak, and some of the gear and all that stuff that we'll be unlocking as we progress through the game. The other potential issue with the source crystals is it actually says, and Sean Himmerich said, bless his soul, he's a great man, and he's one of my favorite people at NRS. I miss that dude. He actually said in the stream, and it says it on the breakdown FAQ of the source crystals, is a lot of these are going to drop in-game as well. It even says on the site, as I said, also, some Premier skins and shaders are unlockable in the game via gameplay, or if you want to save time, you can purchase them directly with source crystals. So maybe I'm reading too far into that, but it says to me, the way I interpret that is maybe there's going to be some that aren't in the game that you do have to just pay source crystals for, and then you run into that problem that's essentially more DLC. So if they keep putting new shaders out and new Premier skins, which Premier skins, you know, that's fair, but if you're starting to charge for color schemes that you can't unlock in the game, supporting the game with more and more DLC, especially stuff that wasn't included in the Ultimate Edition, then you start to run into that problem where you really are going to microtransaction territory, like serious microtransaction territory, where you're just piecemealing the stuff out a la carte, and yeah, that can get pretty pricey if you look at games. A lot of games actually do it. Mobile games are incredibly bad at that. Free-to-play games are incredibly bad at that. But I'm not going to say that they're doing that. Obviously, that would be jumping the gun. We don't know the price of these things, and we don't know, like I said, how the unlock system exactly works, whether you can choose a specific item and unlock it. We don't know the transaction rate or the amount. So does $1 get you 50 crystals? How many crystals does it take to unlock a basic skin, so on and so forth? That's where it gets down to the nitty-gritty of, are these things done in a way that isn't just trying to gouge and bleed your fan base dry of their money. With all that said, like I said, I'm not complaining. I like the system. Well, I don't really necessarily like the system. I just have no problem with the system. I think it's harmless, with a couple caveats, like I said. So, with that said, I'm looking forward to see, I'm still excited for the game. I'm looking forward to see all the Premier skins that we're getting and the shaders that we're getting. It seems like the game is absolutely packed full of content, including the over 1,000 pieces of gear for each character, so the game itself is going to be worth $60 regardless. This is not a case where, you know, they're pulling stuff out of the game and they're making it like a $30 game but still charging $60 and then DLC on top of that. No, this is with NetherRealm Studios games, you get what you pay for. The core game by itself at launch is always, in my opinion, worth $60. So, in this case, I guess we'll have to wait and see, but overall I am cautiously optimistic, and I think it should be fine, so we can all kind of take a sigh of relief that it's not affecting gameplay, and that it seems to be done well, and there's nothing saying we might not get free DLC in the future, you know, maybe an extra character or just extra shaders for free added into the game. I mean, that's got to be simple to code, just palette swaps, but I mean, they're already adding so many per character, it seems like, so I'm not too worried about that, but hopefully they will add some compensation just for the amount of money that they are hopefully making from these things. With that said, I don't want to belabor the point too much. I just wanted to go and cover this whole system because it is kind of controversial and polarizing amongst the fan base and the community. Anytime you mention microtransactions, like I said, it can be very, very extreme opinions on how that is, usually negative. So hopefully you guys are cool and you're seeing it how I'm seeing it, but overall not too bad, so I will catch you guys later. You guys have a good one. Catch you next time. Like and subscribe if you want to. You don't have to, but I love you anyways. But just because I love you doesn't mean I like you. See you next time.
Atrocitus wins.